Very quiet, very subdued day today.
I mean, did you do the rain last night? What time did you get back last night?
After the rain.
It was quite soothing. Huh?
Who cares? Wake up in the morning.
I hate getting, dude.
Work.
You like the cafe. Like, I don't understand. This dude can drink a fucking Red Bull. You could take the most savage pre-workout ever, and then like 5 minutes later, just be like,
probably.
Not even probably. That is a fact.
I just got home, cleaned up the house.
He got home. He drank 6 Red Bulls, cleaned up the house, took the dog for a mile walk, and then went to bed. He woke up here at 4 a.m., got on his other call, and then, is still full of energy somehow.
As you can see, Christian is lacking the energy today.
I just had some crash, dude.
Some crash. Like a Dave Matthews happening in your life?
Okay.
Crash.
I'm not a huge Dave Matthews fan, if I'm being honest.
Boom.
It's strange to me.
I'm not going to lie.
It's almost like a more acoustic. It's like a non-jam band version of Fish. But it is kind of jammy.
A, I think Dave Matthews came first. And B, it is very jammy, and it's way better than Fish. And Fish is also good. But also, I don't think that you would understand unless you were born in the 80s and 90s, because
I was born in the 90s.
In the late 90s. It's different.
It was a great time.
It's a great time to be alive. I don't remember Y2K.
No, I wish I wish I was born with where I could live through the grunge era in my teens or high school.
So not today. You guys don't even know. Christian's in full-on golf attire. It's not grunge era day today.
I wish I was going golfing.
Oh, my goodness. So a lot of things happening. We did just get back from Texas visiting one of our clients. We had a great time seeing them and their family, and it's wild to experience different real estate. It's very weird.
Yeah. Where did you guys go? You went to Houston?
Houston.
I thought you guys went to Austin. Damn.
No. Nah, and
for some reason, I don't know
having
why.
been to Austin, I feel like they're different, but probably the same. I don't really understand. But for me personally, I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh, that's a really nice house. Oh, I mean, it's a really tiny fucking yard. That's way less space than I would want. How much is that house?
$8 million.
$1.7 million.
Yeah, right.
It's like, holy shit. I feel like it's a beautiful community. Actually, there's a lot of things that I do love about their neighborhood, but there's just a lot of things that I loved. Even getting home last night after the rain in the darkness, it's like driving through the wild wilderness, right, to get to the house. It's so nice versus in Houston. It's like flat and straight forever.
Well, my one client, Thomas Dang, out in California right now, the Zito group that we referred him to, he has, I don't want to say it's average, but the way that he described it to me, it's like a split level home, nothing super crazy out there, but just the market. His split level home, he said he bought it for I don't know, 700 10 years ago, and now it's worth 1.2 million, just a split level home. I think it's a 4-bedroom something. I don't know.
Crushing it in the world.
Yeah, it's wild though. And then he comes over to Maryland, and we're walking through these mansions in Calvert, mansions. Yeah, mansions. What people would consider a dream home.
Right.
And he's like, how much is this one? And I'm like,
$940.
Yeah, 800,000.
Right,
and he's like, what? Are you fucking kidding?
Right.
He's like, dude, my wife would love this.
Well, and then we have the flip flop, right, where people can buy a $300,000 house in Texas built in the 90s, and you can't buy a $300,000 house here built in the 90s. You're buying a $400,000 house or $500,000 house. It's it's just a different world, and it's a different market, and it's just, I don't know. For me, it was interesting to see the differences, and then to be able to talk to them about in this community, what's the ratio of property to pools, and they're like, 90% of the people have pools.
Yeah.
If you don't have a pool, your house isn't selling. I'm like, oh, that's such an interesting
what
thought.
What the hell?
Yeah,
that's totally different than here.
I mean, we did spend time in the pool. It was go out, do something productive for breakfast, go do something in Houston, come back home, get in the pool, and then go to dinner. Every single day. And so I do
That's actually a vibe.
It is
I like that.
And their backyard, I mean, they had maybe a quarter of an acre, but it was you walk out into an alcove, and then out from under the alcove is the pool deck with the I don't know, you could put a lounge chair in the pool, the easy walk in.
Oh, yeah.
And then it drops off. There's the deep end in the middle of the pool, which is really weird. The deep end is the middle. And then on the far end, you can stand under the waterfall. You could stand almost 360 degrees around it. Huh. And then they have a hot tub overflowing, and then they have the kitchenette with the outdoor grill and this and that and the other. And then they have a fire pit, and they're like, yeah, everybody has this. And you're like, oh, wow, that's nice. The price of their houses in their community probably range between like 900
How competitive
and 1.5.
Is it out
there? But he said it's pretty competitive in their community because the neighborhood that they live in is very, very desirable. I would equate it to like Western Howard County, where people really want to be there and people have a lot of money. So there's a lot of competition around the houses, the communities, the style. Interesting.
Yeah. What's the main like job out there? Do you know?
Industry. I don't really know how to describe it, but basically they said that there's going to be some like 3-point-something billion square feet of warehousing space in Houston by 2024. And they're in warehousing, ironically, right? So I think there's a lot of businesses that put down roots there because they have a foundation in their distribution channels or maybe in their shipping or whatever that might be. And then, of course, Texas. So people like to be in Texas. And then I don't know.
Well, a couple things. Like I remember talking to Courtney about how they're trying to lower the taxes here for commercial and residential to bring more businesses.
Right.
Do you think like that is going to have a similar effect on the real estate market as to where maybe, in Houston, with it being like this warehouse job opportunity place, that probably will build it up, bring more jobs, bring more people.
I think there's like two types of job opportunities that we have, right? So ironically, today's topic of our podcast was supposed to be something about like the keys to selling swiftly in a dynamic market. And we talk about the thing that people are selling for, and they're selling for a life change, a job change. And so there's two different types of job changes, right? There's people that are getting a job, whether it's a better job or a first-time job or, a move up in a position where they're working for like UPS or a big company, but they're still just working their everyday job. Yeah. And then you have people that are moving up in corporate America, where you have higher end and office world, and we're bringing in 7,000 office workers is going to bring in a lot different of a community than 7,000 labor force workers, right? Yeah. So when Amazon was considering Baltimore for their home hub, they chose a different market, and there were a lot of reasons that played into that. But I think one of the things that Baltimore has and needs more of is labor force workers, not I would love to have high-end office workers with, $300,000 salaries at nauseum, right? That would be great for our economy, but I don't know that our city can support it, right? We don't have the land to develop to support that kind of growth. And that's, I think, ultimately why you make that decision to move Amazon to some place like Northern Virginia. It's in Alexandria, maybe?
I don't know. When I was out in Colorado this past summer, I stayed in a small town called like Fairplay. It's like South Park. I think they were talking about actually bringing Amazon out there, like these big businesses, and all the people in the town. There's like 800, 700 people, and they're like furious.
Guest on the podcast.
We should just bring her over here. But like they were building in a town of 700, 800 people. It's just a gas station town, like not a lot of homes. Literally like one gas station, one like food place to swing by, one grocery store, what have you. But a home that people built there, like a new one, even though they're kind of like manufactured or sometimes like would almost look like shipping containers on top of each other, but they're not. They're going for like $800,000.
Yeah, I think that's the thing that we need more of is the land to do the development. And the biggest issue that we have is that we're not yet valuable enough to like knock down these old 1920s houses. We're still renovating them. We're still.
How do you get to that point to where like we are that value? Because I know at some point it's going to come.
Think about it this way. If Musk was to set his sights on Baltimore, that's all that would happen. Because he's got the money, the capacity, and the impact to drive that kind of a market change. But until you have somebody with that level of an impact, a nonprofit, an organization, a business, come on.
I can understand that, but is there any return in it?
Well, I think the key is that the return comes over time. It's something that you believe in, right?
Yeah. Okay.
It's kind of like why you become a homeowner in the first place. Also, let's talk about this. I really love our ideas of not using real estate terms. I want to keep going with that, right? So buyers become homeowners because they have a dream of homeownership, right? Buyers become homeowners because they have a family that they want to grow. Buyers become homeowners because they have a portrait of what their life looks like and they're fulfilling that life portrait, right? So in the same way, when Musk turns around and says, I want to put a man on the moon, is it because there's some fucking ROI or is it because he has a belief in it? It's because he believes in it.
Yeah.
So
it's also like at that point, having his money, it doesn't really matter what the fuck the outcome is.
I mean, he can't go all the way around the world, so...
What do you mean?
Do you not remember this?
No.
Stack your money up from the ground to the ceiling.
Anyway, yeah.
Go back 3 episodes, guys. Anyway, so I think that it takes a belief, and I think that nonprofit sector is what drives belief. That's just my personal opinion. I think there's a lot of people, Live Baltimore, for example, nonprofit organization, and the people there just genuinely drive the belief in home ownership in Baltimore. I'm not saying they're the only people. I'm not saying they're leading the charge. I think they're the biggest voice that's heard as people are crying out for home ownership. And so I think unless there's an organization like a nonprofit or an otherwise where they have a voice, it's not about ROI, it's about a belief.
Yeah.
And so I think when we have Amazon considering Baltimore as a home hub, it's like, do we believe in Baltimore being the home hub or are they not yet ready for us? And that might be the thing. I mean, we don't know when you get into the minds of these billionaires, right? Bezos and Musk and these other people, maybe Bezos chose not to choose Baltimore today because he sees Baltimore as a better investment tomorrow. Like, what the fuck? Like, we don't think that way, right? We think, I need a tomato, I'm going to the store, I'm buying a tomato, right? Farmers think, I need a tomato, I'm going to plant a seed. Someone that thinks the way that Elon Musk thinks goes, how do I get a seed to show up at my doorstep, fully grown as a tomato without me investing any money, time, or energy into it? It's like, what? How do you even think that way, right? But I feel genuinely that as we continue to proliferate the very basis and the foundation of what we believe in, which is dream, family, and our future portrait, we build the opportunity to create a world where this house is worth nothing. And someone comes along and drives a truck through it because they want to just bulldoze it and put something better, bigger, more opportunistic on it.
I think there's so many different factors because it comes into like the job opportunities, like the businesses that are around, and
yeah,
there's so many factors that I think would go into just bulldozing a house.
I think it's a belief in a better opportunity, and it's it's something that we have as kids, we develop and then we give up on, right? Aspiration. So like at some point we aspire to be a firefighter. We all aspire to drive a Corvette. We all aspire to go to the moon, right? Like we have these aspirations. Funny fact, on the plane yesterday, I watched Despicable Me because if you know anything about me, I like to like work and have something going on in the background. So I just put in my headphones. I watched Despicable Me. And early in the movie, there's this scene where Gru, the evil main character, he's talking to his mom. He's like, Mom, I'm going to go to the moon. And his mom goes, you already missed your opportunity, son. They stopped putting monkeys on the moon years ago. Right. And it's just like that was his biggest aspiration, was to go to the moon. But he didn't give up on it. He wanted to get this shrink ray and shrink the moon and capture the moon. And now he's going to be the greatest guy ever.
And like this brought up something in me, is like, who is like, are these people's biggest supporter, right? Like Elon Musk, Bezos, like, they definitely didn't do it alone.
Right.
Right. I would wonder like who they had as their support. And probably when you're on these big companies, it's just like, it's so many people, but like on this early day, you look at Apple, Steve Jobs and Wozniak and everybody else, like they were kind of a team player there. And
how it impacts, right, our lives on a very, very minimalist scale is like, are we supporting each other? Are we supporting our dreams, our vision, our hope, our goals, so that we don't give up? Because that was what I was getting at, was like, we have this thing and someone knocks us down and then turn around 10 years later, we're like, we were gonna invest in real estate, but then we didn't, and now it's too late, right? I'm not gonna take that risk.
Yeah.
I was gonna be a baseball player, but I hurt my back, right? Whereas the baseball player hurt his back, broke his collarbone, did this, did that, did the other, and went through it, right? We give up. It's kind of like what is the term when you like make it acceptable to have failed? What is that? It's like we coddle ourselves.
Sure. I have no idea.
But it's like we make excuses for why we can't do something. Here's a great example, right? Our team sells an average house price of what? $250. That's really low. We're probably closer to 280, but that's okay.
Is that really too far off?
Yeah,
what the fuck?
10%, bro. Anyway, so we
I thought you were gonna come back and say like 350 or 4, and I'm like,
at one time I think we were, but not post COVID. But anyway, so we sell an average price of, let's just call it 300,000, right? And we turn around and we say, well, why don't we sell the $1 million homes? Or someone asks us, why don't you sell more $1 million homes? It's like, well, they're just lucky. Or like, oh, well, I don't know. Like there aren't as many homes that sell in that price range, or like whatever we have to say to like make it okay. It's like a coping mechanism, right? In the same way, we cope with the fact that we never went to Mars. We cope with the fact that we never became a firefighter, or, whatever it might be. And it's almost as though we cope with the fact that we never invested into real estate. Whereas you have people like Bezos, you have people like Musk and otherwise that are turning around not coping. They're not like okay with it.
Yeah,
they just keep saying, no, fuck you guys.
There was something I was watching, I think it was this morning, like Rob Dyrdek had a clip from his podcast, and he was talking about like there's only the past, present, and the future. And if the biggest thing is like if you're dwelling on something that happened before, like it's going to have the biggest impact on your life.
The thing
and
that's
like
crazy about Rob, like you're right, he's the person that like doesn't fucking stop.
Dude, it's nuts, man.
Go ahead. No.
So there's another thing that came out today. I was reading that he is like on this new like regimen, like morning routine where he does this like really deep meditation. And at 6 a.m. it's like his like, I forget what they call it, like his developed working hours, like super hard working hours, all the crazy ideas flow, and like that's what he only focuses on at that time. But then he's even doing like these IVs and like studying himself,
right?
And so he can live to, I think it was like 1 million hours or something like that, and it's like to 114, and he has like a plan for everything.
He is the person that like he says something like, oh, I'm gonna jump off the Empire State Building, and everybody goes, okay, go do it, right? Like for whatever reason he says something fucking crazy, and we all go, okay, cool, that sounds good, right? And maybe that was from a little age or whatnot, but there's nothing special about Rob Dyrdek. He's not super fucking smart, he's not super fucking skilled, he's just like an average guy that just didn't stop going. He became better all through his life, and I think that most of us stop going. Most of us give up, right? Whether it's the housing market is so tough today, the housing market sucks, interest rates are going up, right? Like, and then you have the old farts of real estate sending messages around our like social media networks saying like, I remember when we worked for Rock Mortgage, and their thing was rock bottom rates, and they had a rate sheet that she sent out yesterday that was like 14.5%. And that was like rock bottom rates. And now today we're like, man, the interest rate's 6.75. It's like, that's what the rate is. Like, fuck it. Yeah. But some people just let that get in their way. I don't know. I think it's just kind of like what's preventing you from acting is something that's in your own head. Like something that's, you're preventing yourself from acting. Yeah. I don't know.
No, I agree. I think we put like a lot of value on things that hold us back. But like, you were talking about like, not that we're all average people, but it's just like the difference makers, people who continue to keep going and pushing forward, I've really gotten into this TV show, the F1, what is it? Drive to Survive, I think is what it's called.
Oh, I did see that.
And you look at Daniel Ricciardo and his not early stage, but like when they start the show, Red Bull, he was dealing with so many fucking car issues, but still pushing forward. And then he landed a new contract. That's where I'm at now. So maybe it takes a turn for the worse and still keeps going or whatever. But like that dude, his car was breaking down every fucking race almost, like having so many problems. And instead of being the person that's like, oh, this fucking sucks. Granted, he probably would be pissed off, but like he'd get back in the car the next race and like floor it, give it everything he could. And then also you got to look up who he's against, like Max Verstappen, fucking, who's the guy from Mercedes? Why can't I think of his name now?
I have no idea.
Huh? Oh, no, that's not Mercedes.
It's, Lewis Hamilton and like Max Verstappen was the youngest person. He was going to take pretty much his contract at Red Bull, take Daniels, and like Daniels like fuck this, he's going to keep on going.
He's nerding out.
No, but I'm just saying it's related.
I know what happened, so I'm just over
Yeah,
here
right.
not giving you a spoiler alert that everything you're saying.
No. La. All right, but
it's relatable because he doesn't stop, and that's the thing. It's like all these other factors, whether it could be fucking interest rates, whether it's Max Verstappen being the next big guy at Red Bull. He's like, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to keep doing my thing, and I have this plan.
So here's an interesting factoid, right? So if we were to look at today's topic on our podcast, we're supposed to talk about a key to swift home selling in a dynamic market. Right. And we talk about this shit all the time. So I'm going to save you guys a lot of fucking energy. But what I am going to say is I'm not going to use the real estate term. I'm only going to use a normal fucking people term. Now tell me that you couldn't overcome any objection in your life. Weight loss, workout, selling a house, getting to the moon or otherwise with these terms, right? Tailored, strategy, advantage, presentation, timing, and concern. You couldn't get over everything in your life by talking about, hey, what's my presentation, right? What's my strategy? What's my tailored approach? What's my advantage, right? Like if you were just say, like, let's just say, okay, I'm trying to lose weight. I'm having a hard time losing weight. Instead of saying like, why the fuck can't I lose weight? If you were just to say, hey, what's my advantage? What's the thing that I need to dive into more so that I can lose weight?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that work?
Yeah.
Right? And yet we're over here talking about, like, in your case, right, Grand Prix or F1 or whatever. We're talking about Elon Musk and all these other people, but what's their advantage? What's their tailored approach? What's their strategy? What's their presentation look like? What's their timing look like? What are their concerns? If we take the same exact thought process and we apply it to every single thing in our life, how am I going to lose weight? How am I going to make more money? How am I going to get a raise? Right? If we take that and we say, hey, I'm going to get a raise by going into the meeting with my boss with a strategy. I'm going to get a raise by going into the meeting with my boss with this one advantage that makes me better than anybody else. Forget our real estate terminology, right? It's just so relatable. And we're over here trying to figure out how to help people sell. Well, if your agent's not relatable and they're just telling you how they can do it better, it's like, are you even hiring a real estate agent, or are you just hiring somebody to put it in the MLS and like call it a day?
Yeah.
And I think that's the same thing, right? We all use Amazon, right? Except probably my brother, because my brother's a fucking conspiracy theorist.
I want to hear this.
Bro, I don't know. Like every time.
I feel like Liv doesn't use Amazon for the same reason.
No, Liv definitely uses Amazon. Yeah.
But she 4 packages a day.
4 packages a day.
But still a conspiracy theorist about Amazon or whatever you're going on.
So it's not that my brother has a conspiracy theory about Amazon or anybody else, but like he'll say things like, "Oh, I don't shop at Walmart." You're like, "Why?" He's like, "I don't like the way they treat their customers or their employees," right? And you're like, okay, I understand that. Like, that's a good thing. I'm with you, whatever. I don't shop at Home Depot. Why? Oh, they get their electrical stuff from an unreliable child
I feel like
labor.
I know where you're going with
It's just
this.
like everything. There's always something, right? But for the rest of the world, okay, we're using Home Depot, we're using Walmart, we're using Amazon, we're using Netflix, we're using Hulu, we're using Disney, all these other things that like are just fucking commonalities to the rest of the world. And what helped them get to where they're going? It's not because they were a negotiation expert, right? It would be that they have an advantage in negotiation, right? Understanding how they have an upper hand and utilizing that is what makes us different. So like if you're going to hire a real estate agent to market through today's ever swift dynamic market, kudos to Liv for coming up with really great content, right? You need somebody that understands their advantage. And that's the thing that we need to be fucking talking about, not we have a tailored marketing strategy, right? We need to be talking about tailored. What's tailored about our marketing strategy? Why should you hire us? Why should you hire anybody? And for those real estate agents out there that are listening, you need to be saying, this is my tailored strategy, and actually have things that are tailored to that specific property, right? Don't just rattle off the same list of things. Talk about what's specific. Be relatable. Create an opportunity that we have a strategy to going into our pricing, not just pricing according to the comps in the market. Or are you pricing to the competition, or are you pricing to the comparable home sales? Because I bet you 50% of the real estate agents out there don't know the difference. It's just like we're talking about why would knocking down a house make sense? Is there an ROI? It's not because there's an ROI. It's because we have a tailored approach to the strategy that we're taking to create a competitive advantage in the market, and we're going to see it in the long run. It's like a dream. It's like it's the apprehension that prevents us from doing it, but the dream is what creates it. Relatable content. I'm done. Boom.
Oh, like I can't fucking beat
And I
that.
haven't even finished my coffee yet. I think I had 2 sips before I sat down. I have half
But this
left.
is your third one of the day, let's be honest.
Shout out to Tomo, right? Right here on the podcast. Anyway, it's my first one of the day.
There's no fucking
Swear
way.
to God. And
There's
I didn't
no-
even have coffee. Oh, I had a, Jonathan. I had a frap off yesterday.
Off-brand shit?
No, on-brand shit.
What was it?
All right, so we had a frap off.
Oh,
that was my
frap.
What is
coffee
that?
of the day.
It's called a frappe if you get it at McDonald's, just so you know.
Okay.
A McFrappe, right? So John really likes the mocha frappe. Frappe. Yeah. If you go into the city, is it like a frappe? And if you go into the county, it's like a frappe?
You recording?
Yeah.
I'm just wondering. Right? So
I'll edit it.
John gets a mocha frappe every day. Not every day, but every time he goes to McDonald's, right?
I've had like
Lisa-
3 in my life.
Lies.
Every
Lisa,
Lies.
how many times do you go to McDonald's?
Never.
So every time you go to McDonald's, all right.
We didn't get one last time. I went to McDonald's with you.
That is true.
Yes, you did.
No, we didn't.
Was
got
that the
an
time in
Oreo
Annapolis?
frap that
Oh,
time.
but the time after that, you and I went.
When did we go?
On the way back from...
That was it. From the Cannon Club. It was an Oreo frap.
Oh, that thing sucked.
Right. Anyway, so Lisa gets a frap from Starbucks every day. And I was like, oh, she's like, do you want some? I was like, yeah, I'll try some. She's like, oh, I get this every day. I was like, okay, haha, John gets a mocha frap from McDonald's. She's like, really? I was like, yeah, it's actually pretty fucking good.
Starbucks, back in the day when I used to go to Starbucks regularly, there was a vanilla bean frappuccino.
The one that she delivered to me
Yeah, basically.
on Saturday was a
It's just a
Java
milkshake.
chip. And it was okay.
Java chip.
But I was like, nah, we need to have a mocha frap off.
This seems like way too much.
So Sunday,
Like-
we literally got 5 fraps and we tried them. That was my only coffee on Sunday. A mocha frap. Off.
That's not your only caffeine, though. There's no way.
There's most of it. Most of it.
No.
So what
Anyway,
happened?
so we determined that McDonald's was obviously the winner. It's significantly better.
It's probably the best for you.
It's
So that's the best.
definitely the best for you.
Yeah.
You know what we noticed? We noticed that the McDonald's version was smaller by size, which makes it more healthy. Less of it. Anyway, so that was my coffee on Sunday, and now my coffee today. I'm still working through.
There's going to be 6 more in the lineup.
Jesus Christ, Christian, get another coffee.
I need
Wake
one.
up.
That one didn't do it. Me.
Oh
any
my
good.
God.
More what?
Coffees.
6 more coffees. He thinks I drink a lot of coffee. In case you guys don't know, I do have a lot of coffee, but it's not too much. Christian just doesn't have enough. Anyway, you guys know where to reach us. If you haven't already, make sure you follow me on Instagram at @MichaelFrank___. You can follow Christian at Christian the Deadhead or Deadhead Day on Twitch. You don't throw that one out there
no,
anymore.
I don't fucking.
I haven't seen you online.
At
yeah,
any
dude.
rate,
I can't.
go
I'm in
and
real
read-
estate now, dude. It has a grip on my life now.
Go on our website, look up our additional resources, find our blog post, and learn a little bit more. Ask questions, and we will talk to you guys real soon. What's up, guys? Thanks for watching. For more information on the housing market, Real Estate 101, how you can leverage your position in today's market, and so much more, click on the link below. If you like this video or have a burning real estate question you'd like us to answer, leave us a comment and let us know. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss an episode, and we'll see you again real soon.